Always great to get your feedback and questions on any of the topics that you want to always a popular one. We'd love to get any of your questions or even ideas. And you know what I mean? Your conversation on the finish process, they just want to know how the coaching levels compared to being further and beyond.
So usually a week, let's say if you're going 85 minutes, 85 minutes, 15% of that, you'd be looking at 16 grams of protein if you're lucky, depending on grass fed and non-grass fed. But the beyond fatty, just that 4 ounce fatty right there, it would be 12 grams, that's 20 grams of protein.
I think so.
Because if you go to wildflower focus, we actually design
Ladies and gentlemen,
well, hello and welcome along to the Dubai Duty Free Tennis Championships final in its 20th year. Really exciting times there have been throughout those years here at this wonderful tournament, and we should have a really fascinating doubles final as well between the 5th seeds and the 1st seeds. So there are the 5th seeds, Barbora Krejcikova and Zheng Hsieh. Their first final together as a pair. Haven't played too much with regards to being a team, but what a successful partnership it has been this week. And there are the top seeds. Hsieh and Barbora Strycova, they are the world #1 pairing as well. Hsieh is ranked #1 in the world, Strycova ranked 2. Hsieh in a staggering 40th doubles final on the WTA circuit. And they are the favourites for this one, but after what Krejcikova and Zheng Hsieh have done, you cannot write the 5th seeds off either. Sue Thurl alongside myself, Pete Hodges, for this one. Should be absolutely fascinating.
Really, really looking forward to it and seeing the way that Hsieh and Strycova came through their semi-final last night. Strycova not feeling 100%, was she? But Hsieh certainly helped her through that test yesterday against Dabrowski and Zhang Shuai, and in the end they prevailed very, very impressively in that second set. And we had that interview, you interviewed Hsieh, didn't you, last night? She was in top form and talking about being the moon ball queen, which I think we're going to see a lot of today.
Yeah, they're really fun to interview. They both, well, Barbora actually turned to me and said that was a fun interview afterwards. But yeah, in terms of calling herself the moon ball queen, Barbora Strycova didn't want to give away too many tactics, so we'll see if they throw up any lobs today.
Welcome, ladies. It's all the same like previous matches, except that we have TV changeover for this match, all right? Just stay seated till announced time. Electronic
And it was tough as well against Dabrowski and Zheng yesterday. The same could certainly be said of Krejcikova and Zheng as well. They had it tough, particularly in their quarter-final against Melekar and Hsieh, where they were pushed all the way, eventually prevailing in that champions tiebreak, 13-11.
It's been tough, hasn't it, for both teams to get through to this showpiece final, and for Hsieh, incidentally, it's a third straight Dubai final, having been runner-up here with Peng Shuai, her partner here a couple of years ago. But they won the title last year. She said she absolutely loves playing here, and you can see why. She is the world #1 with regards to the ranking, playing in her 40th final, which is quite incredible. Of course, is a 3-time Grand Slam winner, won the Wimbledon title with Strycova last year, as well as won it in 2013 with Peng, and won the French Open as well with Peng Shuai as well back in 2014. As for Barbora Strycova, well, she's had a good season in the doubles. Of course, as a pair, they won Brisbane. They were runners-up as well at the Australian Open. Won her first Grand Slam title with her partner Hsieh last year at Wimbledon, and that was also a tournament where she reached the semi-finals of in the singles. She's a very talented singles player. They are brilliant to watch. They've got so much creativity on the court. We saw yesterday in the semi-final where they threw up all sorts of lobs and were using all parts of the court, and they are much loved on the WTA Tour. As for their opponents, well, Barbora Strycova said yesterday they knew them well, and of course have been part of the same Fed Cup team. Barbora Strycova and Barbora Krejcikova usually plays with Katerina Siniakova, but not playing with her Czech partner here, but did make a good start to the year, winning Shenzhen with Siniakova, and also reached the semi-finals of the Australian Open with the same partner. She's ranked 10th in the world in doubles. She's improving her singles ranking as well, 113 now. And if she can just get that up a little higher, then she can be playing the singles and the doubles at all the main major events. But is also a 2-time Grand Slam winner. Roland Garros and Wimbledon, won in 2018 with Siniakova. But this week playing with Hsieh, and they've, well, done a great job, haven't they, of merging together straight away. Zheng, meanwhile, is a player who's ranked 24th in the world. French Open finalist from last year with Duan Ying, that's who she's played most of her doubles tennis with. Also had some success with Zhu in the past. So had some success as well on the singles court, 1 title and 1 runner-up. Ranked 37th in the world in singles, 24th in doubles. It's a big, big final for Zheng Hsieh. She's a very busy player, is Zheng Hsieh, likes to buzz around the net. Maria Cicak in the chair umpire for this one.
And look at the weather. It's been absolutely beautiful all week, and a little cooler today, a little bit more of a breeze, and that'll be very welcome in terms of the temperature. A little less welcome in terms of the ball toss and trying to get the serve right, which will be an issue on centre court where it can be a little bit gusty. First of 2 finals today for you. What a treat we've got in store. The singles final between Simona Halep and Elena Rybakina to come later on. But first of all, a really sparkling ladies doubles. The defending champions Hsieh and Strycova against Krejcikova and Zheng.
First set. Barbora Krejcikova serve. Ready. Play. Love it.
Always wonder whenever Hsieh and Strycova are on the court, what sort of magic they've got up their sleeves, what they're going to concoct today.
Oh, that's sharp, isn't it? Krejcikova was just hammering away with that backhand, but Strycova not budging.
So impressive. They've got great reactions, these two. Look at that. They just make volleying look so simple. It's just getting the hands out in front. Look at that one. I mean, very little in terms of fuss.
Oh, she found the line. She has.
Didn't need to swing at that ball, Strycova, but got away with it. What a start this has been for the top seeds.
Well, she was a little under the weather yesterday. She is certainly as sharp as a tack today, isn't she, Strycova? Yeah, it's a good intercept, isn't it, from Zheng?
15 points.
Krejcikova will be a little bit sick of the sight of these two in the nicest possible way, because she lost to them with Strycova in the Australian Open semi-finals, so already a little scar tissue this year in that department.
Well, she talked about being the moonball queen.
14.
Not that time for Hsieh.
No, do it once was fine, do it twice was a little too much of an ask.
I think she underestimated herself as well, because she's got so much more than just a great lob, Hsieh. But, you know, when she says it, I think we've got to go with it.
I agree. They've worked their way back here brilliantly, haven't they? From love 40 in a little crisis in the opening game. All of a sudden, they've got a chance of getting on the scoreboard.
Well, this is the combination they want to get going. The big forehand from Krejcikova, and Zheng being very alert and lively at the net.
What a serve. And what a recovery there. The number 5 seeds with plenty to be cheerful about after a run of 4 points in a row. And that's something they're going to have to watch for, isn't it? Because Zheng's always looking to make that first volley. She's really sharp at the net, but that does expose some line. So at which point will they start to try and hit some returns down the line? Yeah,
very much so. Usually in doubles, you'll often see the line ball used quite early, because you want to take away that movement from the net player, put a bit of doubt into their mind. But that was an important service hold, because really they'll be targeting Zheng's serve with Krejcikova at the net. Krejcikova not quite as strong or as confident at the volley, although that is improving. And Zheng's serve not as powerful as Krejcikova. So had they lost their serve there, they would have been under pressure very early on in this final. But good hold from love 40 down.
Oh, that's such high quality.
30-15.
Yeah, this one was sweet as a nut, wasn't it? Came at her quickly. Good depth as well from Hsieh. But she was ready for it, Krejcikova. Couldn't have got any more accurate than that either.
Yeah, middle was wide open, wasn't it? That's the danger. If you don't find the space, especially down the line, hitting that straight at Krejcikova, that was always going to come back.
Yeah, it's always a little bit of cat and mouse, as I say. Often you'll see doubles teams go up the line early to take away the movement from the net player, but Krejcikova standing firm, and it was the right decision. I think she's missed it, though. Yeah, I think she has missed it. What a shame. But it was some rally, wasn't it? I mean, the artistry on show here is just fabulous to watch. This was it here.
It's worth watching the movement of Zheng here as well, because that might have been worth a challenge, you know. She is so busy at the net, and she's making life difficult. Strycova making absolutely certain on break point there isn't, or the first break point that is, there isn't a break of the Hsieh serve. And that's the advantage, taking the middle position, isn't it?
I just wonder whether they're going to use that again, and they are. The I formation. Slightly off I formation here.
It's a gutsy hold. Both pairs being pushed by the other in their opening service games and having to defend break points, but both doing a great job of just that.
Well, like in singles, there's so many different ways you can play this sport, and so often in doubles you can see the power teams, those with big booming serves down the tee to set the point up for the net player. But these four players aren't really all about that. They're about the artistry, the court craft, how you can maneuver opponents into difficult positions. We're seeing lots of lobs, we're seeing lots of line balls, we're seeing lots of touch, we're seeing lots of slice, topspin. It's fantastic to watch. Just love this sort of tennis where they're all really thinking about what they're doing out there. All the tactics going on as well.
Yeah, it's too good. Right in the wheelhouse for Strycova.
A lot of the players at the moment just holding position up the line.
Oh, there's a familiar face. Our co-commentator Annabel Croft in the company of Nasser Youssef, Secretary General of the UAE Tennis Federation.
Oh, and there is the creativity. Able to work angles no one else is. Again, seeing that Strycova moving. There's so much movement at the net right now. But look at this in terms of how cool Hsieh was. Playing the off forehand. Great angle from the middle of the court.
Best seat in the house. No problems here again. Break points having to be defended. And again, moving to the I formation works, doesn't it? Break point saved, one more to go here.
Third straight deciding point, shows you just how evenly matched these two teams are.
First serve has gone missing. No mistake this time. That was muscular from Strycova at the net. And the first break of this final belongs to the defending champions.
It's been a really entertaining start, hasn't it? As in, when you consider all the different tactics, as I say, going on. 3 deciding points to start as well, and so often in these types of matches it is who wins the majority of those who go on to win the match.
It's been a high-quality start, Pete, hasn't it? And as you highlighted brilliantly in commentary early on, it's the variety of shot making that we're seeing today, which is like a doubles masterclass. So for fans of doubles tennis, this is a wonderful match to watch because of the invention that you're going to see over the course of the next hour and a half.
Yeah, both teams know each other very well as well. They've both been on the circuit for a fair amount of time. They've both had a lot of success on the doubles court, so they know each other's games superbly. And that's why we're seeing almost double bluffs and bluffs going on. We're seeing a lot of line balls happening. They're trying to take away the movement from the net player, but we've seen a few of the net players just standing firm, knowing that probably the opponents are going to try and do that. So it will be one of these matches that will just evolve throughout, because we'll see different tactics used at different times. They've all got abilities to switch up the tactics. Talked about players just standing their ground and making sure they're covering the line ball, and that really should have been Hsieh's ball down the middle of the court there. Strycova was expecting it to be.
15.
That's a nice serve and a tidy service game. It's the first time we've seen that, really. Many of the four players. And the break is backed up. As much as I talk about the creativity from all four players, you just feel Hsieh and Strycova have that little bit more creativity than these two. And perhaps the fact that they've played so much tennis together as a pair on such a big occasion will probably stand for something as well. So you have to go with them as the favourites, as I said earlier.
There's the line ball. And that's the danger when you're at the net and you gamble and make the move to the centre for the intercept. You expose so much court.
And this is the other danger for them as well, because Krejcikova hits a big ball, but there's no one better in the business at redirecting pace and power than this player. Look at that, just taking it on the half volley. Very short swings.
Problems building again for the number 5 seeds. Krejcikova's already won a tournament this year in Shenzhen with Strycova. And the same is true of Zheng Hsieh in terms of a good start to the year. She made the final with Duan Yingying, where they lost to her partner today in Strycova.
Yeah, it's all form players, isn't it? Hsieh and Strycova, as you say, won Brisbane, finalists at the Australian Open, so they're all brimming with confidence. And again, switching up the tactics. Hsieh just sitting back on that occasion. And again, not much movement from Zheng. She can buzz around the net, but she knows that the line ball is happening quite often, so is standing her ground so far.
And worth pointing out, Pete, for people who maybe don't watch a lot of doubles, the conversations between players, especially when someone's about to serve and the player at the net, is all about where the serve's going, so the volleyer knows what move they should plan to make as a result. Oh, what touch! Well, they needed that. Just keeping tabs on the defending champions, but they have the only break so far.
Yeah, very important that they got out of that game. Down love 30, it looked like the opening set was just getting away from them. We talked about Zheng being busy. It's a wonderful touch from Hsieh, but look at the foot speed from Zheng. And then having got there such soft hands, no panic, knew exactly where the line was, just to bunt it over the net. Again, showing real quality. And again, it's another entertaining point that we're seeing from these four players. These two entertaining on and off the court. As in, as I say, it was a fun interview last night, speaking to both of them, and Strycova saying, don't give away the tactics, and of course Hsieh saying that she's the moonball queen, and you get a little bit of everything every time you speak to them.
You do. 1-2 racket problems here for Zheng. Again, a different tension on the racket that's disappeared off court. But yeah, the tactics are so important, aren't they? On every point, you're never not trying to outmaneuver your opponents, and it's so important that the communication is good and the serve is put where it should be, so then that dictates the course of the point from your perspective, which is what you want to do in doubles.
Yeah, that's so key, and that's why maybe in these real pressure situations, while we have to talk about the experience of Hsieh and Strycova having played so many matches together, it might prove to be crucial as we see the Irish village and a lot of fans watching in the sunshine with the big screen.
Oh, I did not miss by much. Going for the angled smash. And I think they're going to have a look at this.
And I think it was worth a challenge. It was travelling so quick, tough to tell whether it did catch the line, but I have to say that the one earlier that they didn't challenge.
Well, that reaction suggests it
There you
did
go.
from Strycova. Yeah, it did.
Later points.
I could tell by the body language. She had a little peek down the line and thought, oh no, it has. Oh, well, it was a lovely invention, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is where sometimes, though, you just feel there wasn't a lot of space. You almost back her to make that type of a shot, but that's where you kind of want a little bit of topspin just to ensure the ball dips down onto the line. In fact, she played that with slice. It meant it just drifted.
30.
It has been the place that we've seen most serves missed here in Dubai. Of course, you tend to want to miss the second serve longer than in the net. But if you haven't quite got the topspin here in Dubai, the thin air does tend to fly through and often go long.
It's a good hold, and the cushion is re-established. Look at the intensity from Strycova. Does not want to let the number 5 seeds back in this set. going to make a cracking photo, isn't it? Just above where we are, Pete.
And it is a great view here. Even better, probably, from where he is, although I'm not sure I'd want to switch places.
No. Fancy it up there when the wind's blowing. Waited for the ball to bounce.
I think it was the right thing to do there, Sue, in terms of waiting for it to bounce. It would have been tough taking it straight out of the air. Bit of a surprising miss, really, because she had a lot of time to set herself. Again, though, ball here in Dubai does just tend to fly a little. Maybe didn't account for it on that occasion.
That's enough.
It's caught the line. Clever serve from Zheng. A bit of space to work with down the tee and found it perfectly. You can see what she was trying to do. With the I formation, you've got a lot of space down the line. If you play it right, it means the server's got to dash across and try and retrieve that. That's what she was aiming for. Side ran sprints there to wrap up that game for her team. She was teased and tormented by Hsieh, but she came out on top.
Oh, what an extraordinary point that was. Kept switching who you thought was going to win it. Went one way, then the other. I mean, first of all, it was good volleying from Krejcikova. And look at this from Hsieh. Somehow getting those balls back, then wonderful weighted lob from the Moonball Queen, of course. And then it was Zheng's turn to show her court coverage and speed around the court. A shame to end on an error, but a phenomenal point all round.
Didn't make the cleanest collection with that forehand from the baseline, did she? But it actually worked out brilliantly for her.
Yeah, and I was actually quite impressed with how Hsieh played it, because it would have had all sorts of funky spin on the ball. But yeah, as you say, because of the miss hit, it dipped down very quickly.
Time. You will. Very low.
I'd have thought it was just going wide there, Strycova, catching the line. Might have put her off.
Oh, that's well intercepted.
Did such a great job, didn't she? Full stretch. Just got enough control on the ball. Tallest player out there, and needed to be to reach that one.
Trouble brewing here. It's been a good game from the number 5 seeds. It's been played very thoughtfully. Oh, it's caught the line. That's outstanding from Zheng. And they're back in this opening set.
Yeah, just returned a lot better, didn't they? It was relentless pressure. And as you say, now it's all to play for. After such a lively start where we saw all those deciding points, just felt that Strycova and Hsieh were in control, really, of this opening set. He was almost drifting along quite nicely for the top seeds.
Momentum's just starting to turn against them a little, isn't it? You can sense it. Strycova saying last night that she's the emotional player in the partnership, so Hsieh's calmness here will be important. They're finding the gaps now. They're opening up the court beautifully.
Again, such high-level doubles, isn't it? All the players so good at these little shots here, the low volleys. That was quality from Zheng because she just kept it low, had to spin on it. Meant that Hsieh just had to dink it up, and that gave time for Krejcikova to then wind up on the forehand.
Wild. 40. Well, that's perhaps reflective of the growing pressure. Desperate to try and stop this flow of points in games. They led 4-2, remember. It's threatening to become 4-5 all of a sudden. Hsieh trying to work her magic with those magic hands, but it's just not there at the moment for them. And 3 games in a row have gone against them, and now it's number 5 seeds who are in charge in this set.
You can follow their style.
Girls, at one point of the rally, we need to hit one of the balls. Like, we need to rip the ball. We need to really go for it. Every time we go for it, we have the chance in the net. Of course, they are catching everything, so that's not going to be easy. But what we can do is, at one point of the rally, we always have the chance to hit it, even if it's to the middle. Okay. So sometimes we are just waiting for the perfect moment, and the perfect moment will not come. Okay. We need to risk a little bit more during the rallies and go for it, like 100% power in the returns, first ball after the serve, when we go crossing, something like that. Then we leave all the soft touch and everything for an emergency moment. But so far, every time we hit the ball, we put them in the situation, kind of the same situation than the point of the smash. This situation we need to create a little bit more, okay? Because when we hit the ball, okay, they catch it, but they give us a chance to hit it again and to control the point. So we need to get a little bit more of the main, Doesn't matter where you play, but hit it harder, at least one.
So you think I'm hitting enough hard?
Both of us. At one point we need to hit one ball harder. One. It doesn't have to be all of them. Okay? By one harder. Come on, let's go.
Well, Diego Dinomo coming onto the court to try and stem the crisis that's developing for the defending champions, serving to stay in this opening set.
15.
And he wants them to use more power, Pete, which is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, hit harder was the message from Dinomo. And generally just saying, just hit harder, just for one ball in the rally. So trying to get Zheng and Krejcikova on the back foot, said that there's too many almost little soft hands going on, only use that when you get into trouble. Just feel that he was thinking, obviously, that they were just losing those types of exchanges, which is pretty rare for Hsieh and Strycova, but that's real credit to Zheng in particular, who's had some lovely touch around the net and being backed up by Krejcikova as well, once she's set up the points for her Czech partner.
Nothing wrong with the touch on that volley.
But I think it's a good idea in terms of what he said, in terms of also by saying, look, hit the ball a bit harder, it will mean that they can then maybe get the intensity up a bit, let their anger out a little too.
I think it'll just free up more court space. It'll push their opponents back a little bit, give them more space to work with. That's been absent, hasn't it? Well, you know what? There's a great illustration. And that's a good response, isn't it?
5 games.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the trickery and the artistry of them as a pair. This was more conventional doubles. Hit hard to the player at the baseline and then allow your partner to get the job done at the net. And great poaching skills and control from Strycova on that volley.
What a return. Well, that ball just kept going away from Zheng. They've won 5 points in a row since that coaching intervention. This is a good fight back again.
Well, they've followed coach's orders, haven't they? Far more aggressive. Of course, in the singles with Strycova, she was almost having arguments every time at the sit-down with Diego Dinomo. But he's had success with other doubles teams in the past, Diego Dinomo. So there should be trust with his ability in terms of being able to read a match and psychology.
Oh, Zheng bringing the heat on the drive volley.
15-30.
Looking to get forward all the time. Force the initiative.
Well, it is the final, so you've got to expect all 4 players to be really up for it and buzzing. This was great play from Krejcikova. She moved forward towards the net, and the first ball came at her very quickly, but able to deal with it. And I think that's also where Dinomo would have been thinking, particularly with Krejcikova. Sometimes her reactions aren't as sharp as the other 4 players, but it's something that she definitely has improved in recent years.
Oh, yes! Well, Hsieh doing all the heavy lifting from the back of the court, but the finish was sublime from Strycova.
Sensational volley, this one. She nearly got to that one, but then was still alert. And look at that full stretch, but still got the racket angled away. Balls of her feet. Had to play it almost from behind her, but was able to hook it away from both players. Super stuff.
Yes. The setting point researchers.
Well, the highs and lows of doubles tennis right there in the space of 30 seconds for Barbora Strycova. Still got a chance here.
Still thinking about the return, I think.
She is.
To say, always wears her heart on her sleeve, lives and breathes every single moment.
She's redeemed herself there. Huge smile. Because they've broken again.
6 games to
They're
follow.
back in the driving seat in set 1.
It's a roller coaster ride, isn't it, with Barbora Strycova? We talked about it emotionally, but also with her tennis. She is a special player when she gets things right. She's so quick. Look at that. The foot speed to get to that ball. And once she was there, the volley was relatively routine, but look at the speed here. Good position, ready, raring to pounce. And the quick feet. It wasn't the cleanest of strikes, but didn't really matter because it was all about getting there and taking it at a nice height. Once she'd committed, she fully went for it, and it was exactly the right thing to do. You just wonder, is that the straw that's broken the camel's back with regards to Krejcikova and Zheng?
Time.
Put up with so much, but that will have hurt, having got themselves back into the set, now finding themselves a game behind again, and a break behind more significantly.
Serving for the set. The defending champions.
15.
Here's the challenge from the number 5 seeds, just starting to ebb away here.
Just a few too many times. Krejcikova has just from the back of the court fired a ball into the net, trying to make it tough for the net players, but for me just missed a few too many when she's had time on the ball. She's got her feet a little stuck there, Strycova. Perhaps a few nerves for the Czech.
She made the move, couldn't make the volley.
It was a good return there, wasn't it? With real venom. And again, Hsieh just a little bit of a swing on the volley there. Meant that she couldn't control it. And she was slightly late on the volley.
She went deep, beavering away on the forehand, and in the end, Krejcikova just made the error. That's disappointing at that stage. That's clever, so clever. Made the volley really difficult for Strycova.
It's interesting that they're going with Krejcikova here off the return on the deciding point. I think Zheng's been returning really well recently, but probably the biggest strike is Krejcikova.
Job done. And a really close opening set goes the way of the defending champions.
A really tight set of tennis that could have gone either way. For me, just a few too many shots in the net from Krejcikova, and Sophie Lawler is the helper there for Zheng. Just a bit of an assessment. Of course, a lot of wear and tear when you are in a final with the week it's been for Zheng. As we watched some highlights from what was a thoroughly entertaining first set of tennis, and one that really could have gone either way, but top seeds when it mattered most, just able to win the bigger points. But a lot of entertaining rallies. We saw a lot of different types of shots being played. The artistry really on show before Strycova and Hsieh in particular, after calling their coach on, just decided to get a little more conventional to get over the line.
Okay. Game of the set. Hsieh 7 games to 5.
Well, that's worrying times, isn't it, for the number 5 seeds. Zheng having a little bit of work. The upper thigh groin, it looks like, actually. Stretching out her back as well, so Definitely wear and tear issues there, Pete.
Yeah, tournament referee there, Claire Wood, also just keeping an eye on things. But yeah, just a little worrying, especially when you consider how well she played in that first set. For me, was probably one of arguably the best player of that opening set. Zheng did a lot of running though. She's so mobile, and of course getting a lot of low balls that Hsieh and Strycova have been putting across the net, and so that won't have been easy for her. Maybe just perhaps tweaked something. And was interesting, as I say, that Krejcikova was the one to return the deciding point, and in that game it was Zheng who had been winning the points off return, so that was probably why she looked to her Czech partner to try and make the return. But again, I'm afraid for Krejcikova, missed another ball into the net, and that for me is probably why they lost that opening set. As you can see, has been assessed, so now leaving the court for an official medical timeout. So fingers crossed she is okay. As I say, we didn't see anything, did we, Sue, that was, you know, in terms of hampering her movement, because she was moving so well.
She really was moving so well, but clearly there's something that's really starting to irritate her. Needs to have some treatment. That gives Barbora Krejcikova time to ponder what might have been in that opening set, having clawed their way back from 2-4 down to lead 5-4. And that's when the coaching intervention came for the defending champions, and it certainly made a difference. Slightly altered the approach at times with a little more power and helped them get over the finish line, didn't it? It's a busy phase of the year, isn't it, Pete, with this event here in Dubai and Doha next week, and then the Sunshine Double of Indian Wells and Miami just around the corner now, it seems. So bodies are going to be put on the line and tested by the amount of tennis.
It's pretty much 11 months of busyness throughout the year, isn't it? It never stops, the WTA Tour. But yeah, I mean, I think with the assessment of that first set in terms of what they were doing, they've got such court craft, maybe, and particularly Diego Di Nomo clearly felt they were perhaps overusing their court craft. They've got so many tools that they can use, and that sometimes can be a hindrance rather than a help, because you're sort of trying to do all your boxer tricks too much, and then you get away from what is your staple diet to win points on a doubles court. And I think that was why it was such a good talk from the Argentine, just to get them back to the basics. Look, crunch a couple of balls, let's pin them back, and then let the net player take away the next point. And we saw that, and that was what got them over the line, but that was also what got them those big points on those deciding points. But
I think as well they do so much clever work on the angle, don't they, with the touch. And I think what had also happened is quite a few points they tried to use the touch down the middle, not quite got it right in it, then it invites the pressure from your opponents to come onto you with power, and that's only going to end one way.
lonely time there for Barbora Krejcikova.
She was an outstanding junior, wasn't she? Was coached by the late, great Jana Novotná, former Wimbledon champion, of course, and inspired Krejcikova to believe that she could be the doubles world #1, which she achieved in 2018. 2 Grand Slams that year as well with Siniakova.
Yeah, dedicated that Wimbledon title to Jana Novotná, didn't she? As in, yeah, as you say, very talented junior. Almost did the all 4 junior slams, did she? I mean, with Siniakova, won the French Wimbledon and the US Open all in the same year as a junior, and was the first. They were the first pair, I believe, since 2003 when they did the Channel double, I think it's called, in terms of the French Open and Wimbledon. But yeah, I mean, what an ambassador Jana Novotná was for this sport, both on and off it. And you can completely understand, with everything that she did in the younger years for so many young players in the Czech Republic, why Krejcikova dedicated that win to Jana Novotná, who is, of course, very missed still on the WTA circuit. But of course, for Krejcikova, as I say, she's hoping to try and play more singles as well. Has got her singles ranking to 113. That's one off her career high ranking. And I think when she, first got on the tour, she was certainly looking at becoming a singles player. That's what most players want to be, if not all players. And then they can subsidise it with the doubles. Watching on, Mickey Lawler there, president of the WTA Tour, sitting next to Ramesh Kadambi, Chief Operating Officer of the Dubai Duty Free, and the lovely Breda McLaughlin, Colm's wife, just at the on the other side of Mickey Lawler. I'm sure very much enjoying this one. They're very friendly, I have to say. We've seen them in and around the grounds, and always fun to stop and have a chat with them.
Yes, I think they've been absolutely delighted. Another year, another stellar lineup, and some wonderful tennis to enjoy, and we're very much looking forward to the singles final to follow this at 7 o'clock local time on centre court with Simona Halep and Elena Rybakina in action there. And here comes Zheng Hsieh returning to court with a heavy strapping look on that right thigh.
It's such a big part of her game, her movement, so this is a worry if that's going to restrict her. Of course, being the final, I'm sure she'll try and play through the pain barrier, but doesn't want to do any damage, as you were just saying. So it's such a busy part of the year. It's always a busy part of the year, but with Doha just around the corner, you've got the Sunshine Double to come up as well in Indian Wells and Miami. So doesn't want to do any long-term damage here, but of course will want to win what would be one of the biggest titles that she's won in her career. So going to try and play through it, which is good to see.
Welcome back to the match from Hsieh there with that return. There's another from Strycova.
She's been lively at the net, hasn't she?
Well, she needed to have more medical treatment after this. Look at this volley, just eluding the racket and the head of Zheng Hsieh.
They may well look to try and test out Zheng here. Test her movement out as well. Yeah, and again, that didn't look comfortable, that movement from Zheng, but it's a smart return from Strycova, just dipping it down, getting her to stretch, testing out the leg. It's a brutal sport.
Can be. I think as well, unfortunately for her partner, having to have 8.5 minutes between points. It's been a long wait for Krejcikova, hasn't it? She'll feel better about things for having got involved there. Oh, that's so good from Strycova. She could see that Zheng had made the move and exposed so much court.
How many times are we seeing this move now from Strycova? But look where she is here. So sharp to realise what's going on. Gets herself forward, then buzzes across the court. And again, this stretch forehand volley. This is about the third or fourth winner we've seen just like that from the Czech. On fire right now.
Yes. Deciding point, researchers.
She was trying to get up to the net. Left herself with a lot to do with that court position, trying to make the volley. Deciding point then, still a break point. Tough hold, isn't it? Krejcikova fired up. Important not to let the defending champions get away from them there. They'd already won 3 games in a row, didn't want to make it 4.
Yeah, as you say, very important hold there. That's where the Krejcikova serve can come in handy. Also tough for, of course, Hsieh and Strycova, who had to wait a long time. Stayed in their seats. They didn't get out and hit any serves and keep themselves warm, although, of course, the temperature here in Dubai, you don't really need to keep yourself warm. Even in this wonderful part of the day where you can hear all the birds chirping away as the sun begins to set. No injury hampering that movement there, stretching for that ball. Talked a lot about Strycova and how she's been buzzing across the middle of the court. That's one way of taking that movement away, going up the line, and that was a beauty of a shot. Not have been in too much of a good position there, Zheng. Came right at her and just didn't know which way to take it. Slight hesitation whether to take it on the forehand or the backhand, and ended up getting into a bit of a muddle.
Starting point, 3-0.
That's
not up. Game.
Well, that was an emphatic intervention, wasn't it, from Strycova? Zheng desperately tried to get there, but the angle was too acute.
Game on.
Well, that's going to test out that thigh, isn't it?
It's off and away, isn't it? Did the hard thing there, Zheng. Lovely hand skills to dip it down low. And they just got a little overexcited on the next ball. This match right now right in the balance.
Finding the space so well. That wasn't a straightforward overhead because that ball was just looping over her head. Showed great athleticism here, look. Find the target. Got there in the end. She framed one halfway through that exchange. But it worked out as they'd hoped it would.
Stood firm here, didn't she, Krejcikova? Just using the racket face to deflect it away.
Dario.
I think you know what Strycova thought of that return. Well, Strycova was on the move, looking to make the interception. In the end, she couldn't. They didn't need to, because the ball was long in the end, and now a real chance to get an early break in this set. Oh, that's so good.
Again,
well, they got there in the end, and Strycova again to the fore.
2 games.
Well, again, it's Strycova's sharpness at the net that is probably the difference right now between these teams. She's frustrated herself a few times, hasn't she, off the return, trying to be positive. We saw the one missed in that game where she was taking it on the rise and just mistimed it. Such a lively court, this one, so sometimes can be difficult to get the timing right, as we've seen really throughout the week. I just feel she started to read what her opponents are doing in terms of when they are going cross-court. So she started to get control of this encounter. So for Krejcikova and Zheng, they've got to find a way of taking that away from Strycova. So maybe we'll see a few more line balls, maybe we'll see a few more lobs. And I'm sure those will be the discussions going on over at the other side of the net. Crowd starting to build, of course. Women's singles final
Time.
coming up in around 45 minutes.
15 love. Hello. Let's see. 15.
That's gorgeous. All about the angle from Zheng. And that had to be spot on from Zheng, Hsieh, but look at the angle she gets here. And the top spin brings it down just in time. That was delightful. The volley was just too smart from Hsieh.
Sort of volley we've seen from Strycova, wasn't it? Again, they need to avoid going over the middle part of the court right now. Zheng and Krejcikova. And that is where Strycova and Hsieh have been dominant.
Well, that first volley from Barbora Strycova was exquisite. Used the legs well. Good knee bend just to make sure she made contact exactly as she would want it. Moving in quickly after the serve. Look at that. Gorgeous angle.
And that's actually been the volley that she struggled with the most today. She's been very good, as I say, with the poaching one across the middle. It's been the lower one on the backhand side that has caused her a few issues. Really important game, this one, though.
Skills from Zheng.
Well, so often when we say a dead net cord, it means the point's done. Not if Zheng Hsieh is around. How did she do this? That is incredible trickery. To get the angle of the racket that right. Sensational. Look at this. Look how close she is to the net. Little flick of the wrist, and it was absolutely perfect on the stretch.
She might have a price to pay here with possibly a graze as a result of that dive. She's in the wars, isn't she?
Victory wound to that one. It's a great slide. It probably was just the knee there. So you've got to be careful in terms of... doesn't look like she's done any damage, but again, testing out that thigh, as we were saying earlier, in terms of there is something.
If that groin is a little bit stiff, that will have opened it up even more, won't it?
the winner, though, always makes you feel better. That's certainly the case. Yeah, a bit of a graze as well on the elbow.
Well, taking one for the team there, wasn't she?
Such an example to anyone, wasn't it? Not giving up on anything. Because it's a little bit of an open wound. Nothing too much to worry about. But they'll need to just tidy it up. It really has been in the wars. And there is the physio. And Sophie Lara, primary health provider. Talk about the boxer tricks that all the players have on their on the court with regard to the variety they play. There's a boxer tricks as well for the physio. We'll have done this thousands of times. Yeah, it's the knee done. I think she'll just wonder whether she will actually do the elbow.
Now receiving medical time.
Due to the graze. Whether or not the elbow will be able to be done, because she certainly won't want to allow something to just put her off on the follow through of shots. You've got two kids, sir. Have you done this a few times?
Oh, I've seen this drill a few times. Actually, I was thinking as well when she took a tumble, I was thinking, reminds me of all those days at school when I'd come home with grazed knees, having played sport on the tennis courts and tripped over my own feet. She was a lot more elegant in that particular dive for the ball, and very impressive it was too, I have to say.
I think it's been worth the treatment just to see someone get a shot like that. It was extraordinary.
Now a bandage on both legs.
Yeah. As we say, call them victory wounds if you get through the match with a win. I don't think she's going to have anything done to the elbow, so that looks like that will be done. Of course, it's right on the knee, though, where the knee will bend, so it has to be stuck pretty firmly.
Another delay for an injury to Zheng. Almost 5 minutes have elapsed since that miraculous point.
Let's go.
Great movement once again from Strycova. So quick in every area of the court is the Czech. So quick up to the net here. That made that volley a lot easier for her. Recognising out in front.
Late sixes. Forty, 30. Yeah. Krejcikova. Yes,
Needed that. Took a little bit of getting in terms of the time that elapsed from the start to the finish, but they will feel it was worth it within touching distance again. It feels like an important phase of the match now, doesn't it, with the defending champions leading by a set and a break, but this has been so close and so tight between these two pairs. You just feel like one break might not be enough.
Well, yeah, we saw it in the first set. They were up a break and got pegged back. But also, I don't actually think that little stoppage for the grazed knee was too much of a bad thing for Krejcikova and Zheng, because the momentum was firmly with the pair we're seeing here. And it has just perhaps checked that momentum. And again, when you're in the flow of something, they don't want it to become stop-start. They want to get out of a rhythm. Of course, they've been in so many finals together. They've got 6 titles to their name as a pair. So they know how to get over the line in big tournaments, particularly here, of course, being the defending champions. But that's good to see, isn't it? Laughing and smiling, and it's exactly what you want. They're showing how relaxed they are.
She's probably saying, what are you going to do to yourself next? Well, they're enjoying it too. And well, they might. It's been
Time.
a close encounter in all aspects. Very little between these two pairs. And Hsieh's going to serve with the break in this second set at 3-2. Oh, she warmed up for that so nicely. You could see Zheng dying to make the interception at the net. She'd made the move across, so there was a bit of space to work with, not much.
Again, seeing them smiling and laughing with each other releases endorphins. They're probably just thinking, well, let's just enjoy this now. Being a set and a breakdown, you're in a final of such a big event. Start enjoying themselves, and who knows?
Love it.
That is a superb volley. Really cut across the face of the ball, and it just died cross-court, didn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing how often as well, when you see players start to enjoy themselves, a bit of smiling, Suddenly they just play with freedom, and how about that? Lovely shot, this one. Moving forward, eyes always on the ball, and again, just angling the racket face and getting it just right.
30. Game.
Oh dear. That was absolutely not what the top
Game.
seeds were looking for, and that's gift wrapped for those two, who are again right back in this set and the match.
Yeah, I talked about it before with Hsieh's serve. There's not a lot of cover on it, not a lot of topspin, so if she doesn't get the racket head speed, the ball can just drift, and it wasn't a convincing second serve, was it? And you kind of feel since that sort of mini break due to the graze for Zheng, that it just made Hsieh and Strycova go a little cold. They've lost their concentration here, and Zheng and Krejcikova have taken full advantage.
They just look a little bit flat. They need to get themselves going here quickly. Well, having described herself, Pete, as the moonball queen yesterday, she hasn't really had a chance to use that shot as much as she might have liked today.
Yeah, I think their opponents would have been a little more expecting it after what they saw in the semi-finals. Krejcikova and Zheng have been doing a pretty good job of finding first serves as well, which has probably made it hard to get the weight right of the lob return. Also heard Diego Dinomo talk about hitting it harder.
Well, she'd worked so hard to make up the ground there, and then didn't make the volley that she wanted to make, and she's frustrated again. She's got it. They're coming strong here, aren't they?
40-15.
But increasingly, those points and those longer exchanges are going the way of the number 5 seeds, and they really have made their way back impressively in this second set.
Zheng in particular there, again, absolutely everywhere. She has hit a hot streak. As I say, I thought she was really good in the first set as well. certainly not hampered by the injury. And, well, they have all the momentum now, don't they, the 5th seed? It's been almost a pretty similar set to what we saw in the first, where it looked like Hsieh and Strycova had got a hold of it, and then just taking their foot off the accelerator pedal, and back have come Krejcikova and Zheng. So now this next game, very important. Are they going to be able to stop the momentum?
Join the conversation on Dubai Eye 103.8.
We make it relevant for your life in the UAE.
Dubai Eye 103.8 gives context to the issues we're all talking about.
Start your morning with the business breakfast, only on Dubai Eye 103.8.
Time.
Talks about this being a vital game now in this final. Again, though, Krejcikova with so many balls into the net today. Talk about the ball flying. Maybe just she's over-adjusted at times to the ball flying out the back of the court.
Touch. 15.
Maria Cicak straight away. Clearly heard a noise as Hsieh tried to make an intervention there.
Of course, the other unusual thing about this final is it starts at 5 p.m, so it's pretty light, 5 p.m. And then as the match goes on, they've got to get used to different optics when the night falls and the floodlights come on.
That's a super finish. And she really has made her presence felt, hasn't she, in this match, and certainly in this set too.
They did well there just to get that away from Hsieh. A bit of time on the volley, but was able to make herself have more time because the technique was so good there. Rack it up, ready for it. Again, they're the dominant team, taking over the net.
Well, they're coming like a train in this match, aren't they? Seems to be no stopping them. That was the rather animated exchange that Hsieh and Strycova, the coaching corner, were having at that end. Put away with that, didn't they? Because the put away from Hsieh didn't quite have the power behind it that they were looking for. Krejcikova almost made something of it. Oh, it's too much power, isn't it? And they've picked up another game here. That is 4 games in a row for the number 5 seeds, and they've completely turned this set around.
And it's all happened since the delay, hasn't it? It's almost as if Hsieh and Strycova just lost their concentration for a while, and they've seemingly lost their intensity. If they do lose this set, I would not be surprised to see it all. Diego Di Nomo come back out onto the court just to try and G them up, but they've done nothing wrong, Krejcikova and Zheng.
15.
Well, they've just gone off the boil, haven't they? And
Yeah.
worrying signs, sorry Pete, heading into a deciding tiebreak here because they've just lost their magic touch.
Yeah, decision making as well. I don't know whether that was the right ball to come in on for Strycova.
And even the tried and trusted moon ball, when she needs it, it wasn't there. Here we go then. What a comeback this has been.
$40, 50.
Clever from Hsieh, just carving across the ball, slicing that forehand into a place that Zheng couldn't recover it. They're still under the pump here though, aren't they?
The
comeback is complete, and that has been a wonderful surge from Barbora Krejcikova and Zheng Hsieh, who have come roaring back at the defending champions. They're going to take it to a decider now.
First, we relax a little bit because right now we are out of our mind only for 10 minutes, okay? Only for the last 10 minutes. After the break we got, after the break back. So, let's put ourselves...
What time can everything happen here?
What happened?
They have two medicals, bathroom.
Okay, Bara. Super tiebreak takes 5 minutes. So I want you first of all to relax, and then we relax 1 minute, and then we kill the ball. We kill the ball. We go for it in every single point. Every single point is the last point. We do that. We kill the ball. We kill the ball in the baseline and in the net. If we cross, we do it with 200% decision, and if we don't do that, we fake. But I want like extremely intense from both of you. The one who is ripping the ball from baseline and the one who is moving. If any of you has the chance to cross, go and do it. We need to cross more, we need to fake more, we need to go much more aggressive from the baseline. Everything is based on how aggressive we play. That's it. It's kind of the same speech that I say at the end of the first set, kind of the same. So make a plan for every single point. It's a very small effort. Come on, it's only 5 minutes, but make a plan. Now you relax a little bit and then you go forward, but 200%. Every time we have the chance, we go for it. Every time we can cross, we go for it. We cannot cross, we fake. Okay, simple plans, very aggressive. Come on.
Well, Diego Di Nomo saying, well, I'm giving you the same speech as I gave you before, and you have to say in the first set when he came on and spoke, it worked. He was telling them to be more aggressive off the return, to hit the ball harder, take away the movement at the net player. He also wanted them to move more, throw in the dummies, which is just where you drop the shoulder when you're at the net, and just be more active. That was what got them into such a good position. And as I say, everything changed when we had that delay for the injury, the second injury to Zheng. And you could hear Barbora Strycova just sat there saying they've already had 2 medical timeouts, now they've got a bathroom break. So all these stops and starts have got into Strycova's head. And you can tell, haven't you, that's where it's all changed.
Yeah, they've completely lost their rhythm, haven't they, Pete? And they've lost a little of their intensity. And that's what Diego Dinamo was desperately trying to re-inject.
And if you remember, that happened in the first set. And after his speech, they got it back. And he said the same thing. So is it going to work again? It's going to be fascinating. Tough to just turn it back on, though, at times.
Krejcikova.
Well, the body language is also a real giveaway here, isn't it? The energy is oozing out of the number 5 seeds at our end of the court. They're bouncing around, they're on their toes because they can sense something special is gathering pace here. And it's really flat with the defending champions.
Well, we saw it at 3-2 when they were 3-2 down. Still a breakdown, but they were laughing and smiling at the change of ends. Krejcikova and Zheng. And I know I don't want to read too much into it, but it has an amazing effect when someone smiles or laughs. In terms of those endorphins and what it releases into the body, how it makes you then feel. You feel that much looser, feel happier, and if you're happier, you can then play with more freedom and enjoy your tennis more. And that's exactly what they've done, Krejcikova and Zheng, since going 3-1 down. Whereas on the other side of the net, they were a set and a break up, and they didn't look like they were having fun.
It all goes back to that inspired intervention at the net, doesn't it, from Zheng Hsieh, because that was in the 5th game of the second set. They were 1-3 down. It helped them hold, and from that point on, they really have not looked back. They've been motoring.
Yeah, it's like with anything with a season. Maybe this is going to turn their season. Maybe they'll play more matches together. Zheng and Krejcikova. I mean, you're bang right, Sue. Is in that 1 point, that one get for Zheng. At the time, we were thinking, well, it's all going against them anyway, but. Stunning piece of work has somehow turned this match on its head.
Well, she nearly made something of that, Zheng, despite the fact she was almost in the flower bed there on the extreme left of the court. But that's how good it's got to be from Hsieh right now, just to win a point.
It's inspirational stuff, though, isn't it, from Zheng? Never gives up on anything. I was a bit worried she was going to do herself some damage there. Even more damage.
3-2. Krejcikova.
Rising all the time.
And is that the point to change the momentum for the top seeds?
3-0.
One that they were able to steal. Diego Dinamo pretty happy at the side there. It's a great get from Strycova. They were busier, they were more positive. Volley that Zheng will feel she really should have made to finish it off. And there were positive emotions after the rally from the defending champions. Again, there's that hooked back in stretch forehand. She's done a lot of them with the volley, that time with the ground stroke.
She's back. They're back. 4 points in a row, Pete.
Well, Dino Moat said he wanted them to be more active at the net. This was what was getting them into the winning position early on. Again, this is the footwork, great footwork, really closing down the net. Made it hers. A good put away to finish. There's that positive body language that we haven't seen for some time.
Well, is this another significant momentum shift? 5 points in a row now for the defending champions, who were starting to look down and out. But the mood has changed on their side of the net.
Well, scoring system in the doubles format is built for quick momentum shifts with the deciding points, with the match tie breaks, and we've seen a big shift again here. Is there time for a couple more momentum shifts, though? Being first to 10.
It's unraveling for them now, isn't it? Krejcikova infuriated that another point has slipped away. 7 in a row. And the expressions say much. They desperately need a point or two here now just to get them back into things, because they are totally under pressure now. Well, a trickle of points has turned into a flood here. 8 in a row with the world #1 and the world #2. And it has propelled them mighty close now to a title defence in Dubai. Well, the run of points ends. It's a generous donation from Barbora Strycova.
Yeah,
they won't panic too much, Pete, will they? Because they're in a great place.
Yeah, there's nothing like a momentum stopper, though, than a double fault. And that will just show and say to their opponents that, yep, okay, they've won a lot of titles together. They're a very experienced duo, but still getting over the line, in particular defending a title at such a big tournament. There are still nerves. So Krejcikova and Zheng will just be telling themselves, look, hey, they could get tight here. Let's make this as tough as possible for them.
Well, it was all about the quality of the lob, wasn't it, from Krejcikova, which really decisively changed the momentum in that point.
Now we're going to have another run of points by a team. Got to be a little careful here, Zheng, because we've already been given one warning with regards to taking too long in between the points. Shot clock down at 6 seconds. would lose a serve, incidentally, if she was to delay too long again.
Oh my goodness.
9,
what a
5.
time for that
Yes,
to happen.
Krejcikova.
Well, it just reflects the tension and the nerves being felt on both sides of the net. What a pity. But an amazing final ends on a double fault. But it is double delight, isn't it, for the defending champions in Dubai. Back-to-back titles here for the top seeds, Hsieh and Barbora Strycova. But they were pushed so hard by the number 4 seeds, who came right back at them in that second set and at the start of the champions tiebreak. But they found a way back with 8 points in a row in that tiebreak, and in the end that really helped get them over the line.
Well, it really was a roller coaster ride, wasn't it? Such a topsy-turvy final, as in runs for both teams.